want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. Anaya Pearson, a law student, was an all of Australian model, Amber Luke, who tattooed her eyeballs in a vivid blue and went blind for 3 weeks after. Despite Luke getting her vision back, it seems that 32-year-old Pearson might lose her sight for good. Quote, I was just going to get one eye tattooed at first because I thought that if I go blind, at least I've got the other eye. I should have stuck with that. My daughter told me that I didn't want to do that, meaning the tattoo, asking, what if you go blind? She wasn't on board with it at all. Now she wishes that she had listened to her wise 70-year-old daughter. The Belfast Northern Islander based woman was left hospitalized by the eyeball modification after a potential reaction to the ink and now claims that she is at risk for developing cataracts. Quote, I don't have 20/20 vision anymore. From a distance, I can't see features on faces. If I didn't have my eyeballs tattooed, I wouldn't be having this problem. Even today, I woke up with more floaters in my eyes, and that is dangerous. Quote, she's always going to have this problem since she can't remove tattoo ink in her eyes. But her harrowing tattoo tale didn't have such a rocky beginning. For months after tattooing her right eye blue in July of 2020, she had no complaints. Despite suffering from some dryness and headaches, she opted to tattoo her left eyeball purple in December of that year. In August of 2020, things took a turn for the worst. She woke up one day with incredibly swollen eyelids that looked like she had gone 5 rounds with Mike Tyson. As the symptoms worsened, she decided to check herself into the hospital where doctors gave her intravenous medication for 3 days and biopsied her problematic eye. Quote, I just wanted to be at home watching TV, to be honest. I can't even put words into this right now. It wasn't nice at all. Whosoever it was traumatizing to go through. I just remember thinking, I'm not doing that again with the eye tattoo. I'm definitely not doing that again. The body modification enthusiast left the hospital on the mend, but regrets her decision to tattoo the whiteness of her eyes in the first place. Quote, I'm kind of recovered on the outside. It's recovered. It's just inside. I'm basically on the verge of going blind. She also stated that if I could go back in time, I would have done one black eye tattoo and left it. I would have done one black eye tattoo. Absolutely. Despite the grim outlook, Peterson remains positive in the face of negative comments she's received online. Quote, I tell my daughter not to care about the opinions of someone else because they're just ordinary people like you. You have positive comments and negative comments, but the negative comments always overshadow the positive ones. According to Peterson's inspiration of the Aussie influencer Luke, an eyeball tattoo should never result in blindness if done correctly. Quote, unfortunately, my artist went too deep into my eyeball. Procedure done correctly, you're not supposed to go blind at all. The real reason I feel like she told her daughter not to pay attention to the comments because it would validate what it is that her daughter initially stated. Yo, mom, you shouldn't do this. It's wrong to do. What if you go blind? Like I said, it's a lot of times where a child is smarter than a parent, where they have more wisdom and more foresight than a parent, which is shameful to say. It realistically shouldn't be like that because a child is, in a sense, brand new to this world. They don't really know anything as of yet, hasn't really had any life experiences, and so on and so on and so on. It's usually the parents that are wise that teach the child from their own experiences, right, through the obstacles and the different battles that they had in life, and they impart all of that to the child without them having the need to actually go through the obligation of facing the same obstacles and the same battles, right, that enable them to learn this information. But even with the wisdom of this small girl, the mother still decided to go out and do it. Why? Because she wanted to do what's best for her, right? The selfish side of a lot of adults who have kids. And it wasn't like she just wanted to do it just solely because it was something that she thought of. She wanted to do it because of a Caucasian woman who originally did it. So this is when, I tell people that in a lot of instances, certain times, people should really, before in a sense having kids, they should go seek therapy so that they can face a lot of the issues and a lot of the things that they actually go through and they feel about themselves specifically. Because, when you look at a person when they're fully tattooed, right? Not saying anything bad with, about a person that's fully tattooed. You can, or person, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. But we all know that there's only a few areas that you're going to be able to find a job. You're not really going to be at the front counter. You're not really going to be representing a business or corporation unless it details with specific things like certain types of, entertainment, dealing with people who are older, um, maybe music videos, like rapping, stuff like that. Maybe potentially playing basketball, you know, also being a tattoo artist, or a variety of, other things, right? Maybe the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most tattooed and pierced person, right? You're pretty much going to be on the fringe of life because you're not going to really be seen as a normal everyday person because most people don't walk around with a whole bunch of piercings and tattoos. That comes with some positives in a sense, and that comes with huge negatives, right? So as I stated before, a lot of people before having kids, they should do some soul searching. They should do some things within themselves so that whatever issues that they suffer as an adult at this moment in time, they are not automatically passing those things down onto their children. Because, case in point, that mother is the representation of a black woman, right? And she has a black daughter. And the daughter knew what was best for her mother, but the mother didn't want to listen. So she might potentially internalize that and be like, all right, well, maybe, I was wrong or whatever it is. So, maybe I should do what I feel or what I see other people doing, right? AKA being a follower, being a part of the flock, the sheep, right? Because that's clearly what her mother did. Like I said, a lot of these things can end up turning into something drastically different, and it's not really anything that is too positive. Um, this is why it is imperative for a lot of women out there, if you have daughters, like, yo, you need to do some self reflection and some work. Because everything that you are at this moment in time, you're going to end up, whether you like it or not, you're going to end up imparting that onto your daughter, and everything that you dislike about yourself and or hate, you're going to end up giving that directly to your daughter. So every time you see your daughter, you're going to end up seeing you. And because you internalize all of that, you hate yourself by, correlation, by proximity, you're then going to inevitably end up hating your daughter. So this is where you're going to have a lot of rifts and a lot of problems and all of these other things basically transpiring. And the mother and daughter relationship that used to be great when she was little is not going to be so great when she's a teenager and a grown woman, because she's going to grow to resent you because she is every single thing that you hate about yourself. So, I hope and wish the best for that family. I hope the mother, goes out there and gets some help or gets some further insight about herself, and slows down on a lot of these body modifications, and, fully understands that, she is, um, in a sense, handing, this over to her daughter to be like, hey, don't be fine with yourself. Try to, be different. Try to stick out. Try to do this. Try to, do that. And, my whole main thing is you're in Ireland, for God's sakes. So you stick out, right? They stated that she was an Ireland native, and whatnot or whatever. Not sure where she lives at this moment in time, but if that is specifically where you are from, it's like you stick out just due to the simple fact of the melanin that is directly in your skin. And that is something just by itself that you should be proud of, right? And that you would want to show, that glow, that beauty, that, all of those things, right? So hopefully that daughter keeps the same wisdom and the same foresight throughout the rest of her years, because if she does, she has the makings of being a very great leader.